If you've ever wondered why some people manage to get rich quickly, while others remain trapped in a cycle of constant financial struggles, the answer often lies in how they approach crises and, more importantly, how they handle money. The truth is, what separates the wealthy from the average person is not just the amount of money they have, but the mindset they adopt and the decisions they make. The secret isn't in following the traditional path society teaches us: study, get a stable job, save, and pay taxes, but in adopting a different, bolder, more strategic mindset, one that aligns with the understanding that money is a tool, not an end in itself. While most people believe that the only way to ensure a stable financial future is to follow traditional rules, the truth is that the most successful see crises as opportunities, not obstacles. They know how to use market volatility to their advantage. They understand that you don't need to be a financial genius to succeed. You simply need to know how to use debt intelligently, recognize opportunities when they arise, and have access to privileged information that can change the course of an investment. With this kind of strategic vision, you can transform your financial life in a meaningful way. In this article, we'll delve into the mentality that separates the wealthy from the rest and how you can begin to change your way of thinking to achieve true financial freedom. We will cover concepts such as the importance of taking calculated risks, understanding the role of debt in the wealth-building process, how to efficiently navigate the investment market, and how to make decisions that will allow you to accumulate wealth more quickly and intelligently over time. If you're ready to challenge the norms and transform your financial reality, this article is the first step toward opening your mind and taking decisive actions toward financial success. Financial crises, in fact, have the power to make the wealthy even wealthier. This is a path many overlook when talking about rapid wealth accumulation, but in my view, crises are disguised opportunities. To me, crises are golden moments, fertile ground for those who know how to seize the circumstances. As an insider, someone who understands the behind the scenes of the market, I see these situations differently from most people. To ordinary people who don't understand insider trading, it might seem illegal, but in reality, it's not. And it's precisely this lack of understanding that limits the vision of the majority. If you want to know how to change your financial life, it all starts with changing your perspective. The first step is to transform your words and your understanding of money and wealth. When I'm asked about formal education, I am clear. I wouldn't go to school because in school, you don't learn anything about money. Traditional education doesn't teach anything relevant to becoming financially independent or wealthy. If you asked me if I would look for a job, my answer would be no. I don't seek a job because by having a job, you become an employee. And when you're an employee, you're working for someone else. And that won't lead you to achieve financial freedom. I am an investor, and my way of growing financially is through buying assets, not trading time for money. Furthermore, I am not a fan of saving money. Instead of saving, I use debt strategically to become wealthier. Instead of accumulating small amounts in a bank account that barely keeps up with inflation, I use credit and borrowing to finance investments that generate greater returns. I'm not against debt, as long as it is used to buy appreciating assets over time. Investing in stocks? No, that's not my strategy. I prefer to invest in real estate and in real businesses that generate cash flow and are not subject to the daily fluctuations of the stock market. For the young people listening who think this goes against everything their parents told them, I say, challenge everything. Question everything you've been taught, because it's precisely this lack of questioning that keeps so many people trapped in a cycle of financial mediocrity. Much of what we're taught is hypnotic. We are told to follow the traditional path, go to school, be a good student, get a job, save money, and pay taxes. And I guarantee you, you won't learn anything about money on this path. School prepares you to be a good employee, not a great entrepreneur or investor. Moreover, traditional advice like save money is actually a big mistake. Are you saving something that the government can print at will? The concept of saving money in the long run is an illusion because inflation will erode the purchasing power of your savings. I am completely opposed to the popular mindset that says, get out of debt. In fact, debt can be the key to wealth if used strategically. When you invest in assets that generate cash flow, debt becomes an ally, not an enemy. People talk a lot about good debt and bad debt, but the truth is that the debts that make me wealthy are those that finance my investments, not those that consume my resources on consumer goods. That's why so many people struggle financially. They don't challenge the system's hypnosis. They don't question their own beliefs and words about money. The mantra is always the same: go to school, get a job, save money, and pay taxes. This mental cycle is so ingrained that most never escape it, and therefore remain in financial mediocrity. When I was a child, I learned about poor debt and rich debt. My father always told me to go to school, but in my mind, that seemed like a waste of time. It was my rich dad who taught me to think differently, to use debt strategically to create wealth. Therefore, if you want to change your financial life, it starts with an internal transformation. Question everything you've learned so far and stop blindly following rules that have never made anyone rich. The path to wealth requires a mindset of abundance, knowing how to use money and debt to your advantage, and understanding that true financial freedom comes from owning assets, not from being employed. When I was young, school taught me many things, but nothing that was truly useful when it came to understanding how money really works. What I learned was more about how to play a game of Monopoly than about how to make real money. Greenhouses, red hotels, buying properties, and paying rent, this taught me the rules of capitalism, but not how to be a real capitalist. Early on, I realized that the traditional path of being an employee, paying taxes, and saving money was not what would lead me to financial freedom. Instead, I learned to use debt as a tool to generate wealth and understood that, unlike most people, I didn't need a formal job to be successful. When I tell adults this, they get frustrated, often angry, because yes, I did this and became rich, while they didn't. They got stuck in a cycle of poverty, following what they were taught. Work hard, save, invest in the stock market, and pay taxes. But the secret I found lies in a radical shift in mindset. To the young people listening, my message is clear. You have a chance to change, but you need to deeply question the hypnosis that's been placed in your head since childhood. Society teaches us to see the world in a limited way without ever questioning these beliefs. And that's exactly what keeps people trapped in poverty. The economy, in reality, is not something that happens outside of you in the real world. The economy starts in the mind, and until you change your words, your beliefs, and the way you see yourself, you won't change your financial life. If you choose to look for a job, you place yourself in the employee category. If you save money, you become a saver. But saving money, when the government can simply print more at any moment, doesn't make sense. When they tell you to invest in the stock market, the question should be, why would I do that? The stock market is just a way to transfer your money into the hands of others while you remain in debt. That doesn't make sense for anyone who understands the real game of money. What I'm saying is simple. Question everything. Question everything you've been taught about finance and how the world works. When you start doing that, you'll see the real difference. And the first thing you should learn is accounting. Most people leave school without knowing the basics of accounting, never understanding how to balance a checkbook, for example. I learned to use accounting to handle real businesses, to understand assets and liabilities and how the tax system works. Understanding taxes is essential to building wealth, and the truth is that the rich, the real millionaires, don't pay taxes the same way employees do. They use debt as a tool to generate money, and I know this because I am one of them. When I was 20, I started questioning how the rich learn to use debt to keep making money, while most people see debt as a burden. It was a big challenge at first because everything seemed confusing and meaningless, but the key lies in the combination of using debt and paying fewer taxes. The more debt I use, the fewer taxes I pay, and this works because I'm able to generate a large amount of money by creating jobs and generating a chain effect in the economy. The big problem starts when school teaches us to be employees and follow the rules of the system. That's good for those who want to be employees, but not if your goal is to be rich. Another problem arises when you try to do everything on your own, like a self-taught person. This is a big mistake, and it's what holds people back. There is a team of people who are better than you in different areas, and what you need to understand is that business, in my opinion, is a team sport. Success doesn't come alone, but with a strong team, with people specialized in different areas. I am a rugby player in the business world. When I walk into a meeting room to close a big deal, I'm not alone. I have a team of 15 highly qualified people by my side in various specialties. My accountant, my lawyer, my banker, and other specialists work together as a team. They are all the best at what they do, and that's what makes the difference. They keep my records, advise my legal decisions, and help me manage my finances strategically. This is teamwork, and in school, we are taught to do everything alone, to think that asking for help is cheating. But in the business world, this is called cooperation. What I've noticed is that most smart people don't know how to cooperate, how to ask for help. In their minds, it means weakness or incompetence. I, however, didn't have this problem because I was stupid in school, but as I grew up, I realized that asking for help is not a weakness, it's a strength. I am a strong advocate for having the best people by your side, the best lawyers, accountants, bankers, politicians, and other professionals. This is what makes a true team, and it's what gives me the edge. So think of financial success as a basketball team. You can be great individually, but to win the game, you need a team of specialists working with you. The real key to success is knowing how to build this team, learning to cooperate, and trusting the right people to help you achieve your goals. And by doing that, you put yourself in a position where money flows into your life consistently and effortlessly. If you're someone who believes that financial success depends solely on intelligence and hard work, it's time to rethink that view. The reality of the business and financial world doesn't follow an easy script, like we see in the movies. Even if you have a PhD and think you are better prepared than most, the truth is that in real life, those who think traditionally and operate within conventional rules are often overtaken by others who adopt a bolder and more strategic approach. Movies might show heroes like Bruce Lee easily defeating dozens of opponents, but that fantasy doesn't reflect what happens in the real world, where experience and practical intelligence are more valuable than any academic certification. One of the keys to financial success is not following the corporate or employee rules, because those rules, while well established, are very limiting. The tax rules for corporations, for example, are far more advantageous than those for salaried workers. Many successful figures like Donald Trump understood this to the point of paying zero taxes, a strategy that might seem absurd to those educated to think within traditional norms, but makes perfect sense once you understand the corporate finance game and the advantages of operating according to tax laws that favor businesses. Now let's talk about the issue of fake, something deeply ingrained in our financial society. The dollar, for example, became a fake currency in 1971 when the gold standard was abandoned, meaning that the money we use today has no backing from a real value. This is an essential concept for understanding how global finances work today. But the biggest fake you need to pay attention to is the educational system and the advice from people who do not have a wealth-building mindset. This leads to the crucial question, why would someone who wants to be rich listen to a poor person about money? My father, for example, was a great man, very intelligent, with a PhD, but his view on finances was completely disconnected from the reality of the business world. He always told me to go to school, get a stable job, work hard, pay taxes, and invest in the stock market. He was hypnotizing me without even realizing it, because he himself had been hypnotized by this way of thinking from a very young age. This way of thinking, however, doesn't lead anyone to wealth. My rich dad, on the other hand, taught me an essential lesson. You must be very foolish to follow that kind of advice. If you're a smart young person, the first step to changing your financial life is to understand where you are and how you can progress. The book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a great starting point, especially the concept of the cash flow quadrant. This concept will give you a great foundation to understand your current position and how you can improve. Also, learning to understand your accounting, your numbers, and taking responsibility for your financial life are crucial steps. Don't forget to question everything they taught you, especially about the stock market. When someone tells you to invest, ask yourself, when will I see a return on this investment? In my book Fake, I talk about the concept of infinite return. I use my own money to generate more money, and I don't need to save. I use debt 100% of the time, and this is part of a smart strategy. Debt can be a powerful tool, especially in real estate, where you can use credit to generate assets. The real estate market, contrary to what many think, is about managing debt and understanding how it can turn into real money. This allows me to pay fewer taxes, an advantage that those who save money don't have. While many continue saving money, forgetting that the government can print more at any time, I use a strategy that challenges the status quo. The idea that insider trading is illegal is another example of how we've been programmed to think wrong. Many people believe insider trading is a crime, but the truth is that, within certain limits, it's not. We are conditioned to think that many ways of making money are illegal or immoral, but the reality is that there are many ways to make money legally, and many of them are strategic ways of using information and finances to your advantage. Everything starts in the mind. If you don't change your mindset, it will be impossible to achieve financial success. Change the way you think about money and start seeing new opportunities. Instead of being conditioned to live within limits imposed by society, start thinking outside the box and making bolder financial decisions. If you want to be rich, the first step is to have the courage to question everything you've been taught and start building a mindset focused on success. If you do this, you'll see money coming into your door in ways you never imagined. We conclude that the real key to achieving wealth and financial freedom is a deep shift in mindset, especially regarding how we see money, debt, taxes, and opportunities. Society, with its norms and established values, often traps us in a cycle of mediocrity, where following the traditional path of studying, finding a job, saving, and paying taxes is seen as the only safe route. However, as we've seen, this is an illusion that keeps most people stuck in a system of scarcity and a lack of understanding of what truly generates wealth. The difference between people who achieve financial success and those who continue struggling with economic hardships lies in how they handle crises and opportunities. When you learn to see crises as moments of possibility, rather than obstacles, you begin to develop a more strategic, bold, and creative mindset. Instead of fearing uncertainty and risk, you start looking for ways to use them to your advantage. The real question is not how to avoid difficulties, but how to learn to navigate them intelligently using tools that most people don't even know exist. The secret to wealth isn't in following the rules imposed by society, but in learning to question them. What we've been taught about working hard, saving money, and investing in stocks simply doesn't align with the realities of today's financial world. The idea of saving money in a world where the government can print money indefinitely is a fallacy. The real game of money involves learning to use debt as a tool to generate wealth, rather than seeing it as a burden. And this requires a completely different mindset, one that doesn't cling to social norms and conventions, but seeks alternatives to create and expand wealth strategically. Formal education, as valuable as it is in many respects, doesn't prepare us for the real financial challenges of life. In school, we're taught to be good employees, to work for others, and to follow a set of financial and tax rules that maintain the status quo. However, truly successful people, like great investors and entrepreneurs, understood early on that the secret to financial success is understanding how the system works from the inside out, not just following the rules imposed by society. Instead of working to earn money, they learned how to make money work for them. When you begin to question the norms, understand the concepts of assets and liabilities, master accounting, and understand how taxes work, you start to realize that money isn't just something you earn, but something you control and direct toward your goals. And that's what really separates the rich from others. They don't stay stuck in the cycle of earning and spending, but look for smart ways to make money work for them, using tools like debt and investment strategically. However, reaching this level of understanding and success is not easy. It requires discipline, courage, and above all, a willingness to learn and challenge what you think you know about money. As I mentioned before, everything starts in the mind. If you believe it's impossible to change your financial situation, that the system is against you, and that there's no way out, then that's exactly what you'll find. But if you start questioning yourself, exploring new ways of thinking, and opening up to alternatives, you'll see a world of opportunities that were hidden behind the limiting beliefs you carried. One of the biggest challenges people face in the quest for financial freedom is resistance to the unknown. Most people, even those who seek a different path, end up returning to their comfort zone, where everything feels familiar and safe, even if it means staying in a cycle of financial frustration. This happens because change requires courage. Courage to question what we've been taught, courage to adopt a new mindset, courage to take risks, and perhaps most difficult of all, courage to ask for help. The idea of asking for help, especially in the business world, is often seen as weakness. We are conditioned to believe that if we ask for help, we're admitting that we don't know enough. But the reality is that in the business world, collaboration and teamwork are essential to success. No one achieves great things alone. Successful people know they need to surround themselves with experts, people who are better than them in specific areas, such as accounting, law, marketing, and strategy. They know that by working together, they can achieve much bigger goals than they could individually. True wealth isn't about accumulating money, but knowing how to use it strategically. This includes investing in assets that truly generate value and income, using debt intelligently to leverage opportunities, and minimizing taxes to keep as much of what you earn as possible. To master this game, it's essential to understand how the system works and how to play it intelligently. To achieve financial freedom, the first step is to educate yourself beyond traditional schooling and societal views on money. Explore accounting, investments, and understand how the wealthiest create and grow their wealth. Challenge your perspective and embrace new strategies. The world of finance is simpler than it appears and is driven by smart choices and strategies. The key difference between those who build wealth and those who struggle lies in their mindset, how they view money, handle debt, and approach taxes. Shifting to a wealth-building mindset can transform your financial life and change how you see the world. Now that you grasp the essentials, continue your financial journey by educating yourself, embracing new strategies, and taking action toward your financial goals. Don't miss out on the opportunity to change your mindset and transform your financial future.